President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas, retired, as the administrator of Rivers State. This follows the state of emergency the president declared in Rivers State and the consequent suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy. Let's now join our State House correspondent, Musbah Wahab, for more on this.
Yes, Ifoma, thank you so much for joining us. Now, after the major decisive decision taken by the president to declare state of emergency on Rivers State following the inability of the warring party in that state to settle the political crisis in the state, the president, like you have just mentioned, appointed Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas as the sole administrator of that state for the period of 6 months. And now, to give validity to that appointment, to empower this sole administrator to do his job, to perform his responsibility, is this inauguration that President Bola Tinubu has just done, swearing him in as the sole administrator to give validity to his appointment and responsibility to what he has to do in that state. At the moment, the Vice Admiral came into the State House to perform this function, and then it was done in the presence of the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, of course, the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, and of course, the Principal Private Secretary to the President, Akeem Muri Okonla, and the Senior Special Assistant to the Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanuga. Now, there was no any comments at this occasion by the President himself, but remember, yesterday during his broadcast, he already said that this sole administrator would not have any power to make new laws in the state. His responsibility is just to carry out functions of administration, and of course he has the right to make policies that will move the state forward in the absence of the elected governor, who is now on suspension. But after the inauguration, the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas, spoke to NTA, of course, State House correspondents. Afterwards, let's take a listen to him, and he's saying that he's ready to work with stakeholders to perform this responsibility he has immediately.
First of all, I think we know the circumstances that led to where we are here, and Mr. President made it very clear in his broadcast, and if the main issue is that of maintaining law and order in the state, I think for any meaningful activities to take place in Rivers State, that is the utmost task that I have, to work together with all other stakeholders to ensure that we bring peace, order, and security and stability to the people and government of Rivers State and Nigeria at large.
Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas now ready to work with stakeholders and to hit the ground running immediately to do what he has to do. And of course, earlier at a briefing organized by the presidential media team to the president, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, made some clarification on the decision taken by the president, clearing that this decision was taken because of the inability of the governor, who was suspended, to do certain things regarding the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly, that was demolished, and of course to work with other parties, particularly the members of the House of Assembly in the states, and that was part of the reasons why the president took his decision. And of course, it was getting to a point that national infrastructure, national assets were being affected. That, again, is another reason. Let's take a listen to Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, the Attorney General of the Federation.
It's not a word dissuading the threat, the militants who issued this threat. In today's Nigeria, maybe with the efforts of the Mr. President, a Greek will come in, but as of today, we still rely largely on oil. For anyone to touch these pipelines, it's not only the enemy of rivers, it's the enemy of Nigeria. All Nigerians, all the 36 states share in what comes in from the production of this oil. And I believe that the decision of Mr. President is anchored on the decision of the court, Supreme Court at that. The second one is the inability of those involved, both the House of Assembly and the governor, from being able to, create an enabling environment for the people of rivers to enjoy the dividends of democracy. Then the third in the series is about the security situation in that place.
Now, about the reconciliation process, the Attorney General says the task is now left to the stakeholders in the state, talking about the governor himself, members of the House of Assembly, and of course elders of the state that President Bola Tinubu already is charged with responsibility of intervening in this crisis to ensure that they resolve it, and again they can take over the administration possibly after the initial 6 months that the president declared. It's back to you, Ifoma.
Thank you very much. Indeed, Musbao, quite a day at the State House. Thank you. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has written the House of Representatives seeking approval of his decision to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State in line with Section 305 of the Constitution. Spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi, who disclosed this in response to media inquiries, says the National Assembly was duly consulted by President Tinubu in reaching the decision. The House spokesman confirmed that the leadership of the National Assembly met with the President and the National Security Advisor ahead of the broadcast, alongside key security chiefs who were fully briefed on Mr. President's intentions, and all unanimously expressed their support. He says Mr. President's formal letter informing the House of Representatives of his decision and seeking approval in line with Section 305 of the Constitution has been transmitted and will be read during plenary on Wednesday, March 19, 2025, with further legislative action to be debated and decided on the floor. The Honorable Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed Matawali, has expressed support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's decision to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State, emphasizing that this decisive action is vital in restoring stability to the state's turbulent political landscape. The minister says the Nigerian military is on high alert to safeguard government infrastructure and ensure the security of the citizens. He warned that any attempt to disrupt public order will be met with a resolute response from security forces. Matawali expressed concern over recent reports of vandalism and threats from militants, underscoring the need for a unified effort to restore peace and security. He reiterates government's commitment to ensuring the safety of all citizens and the protection of vital infrastructure in Rivers State. The Minister of State for Defense urged all stakeholders to embrace this opportunity for renewed governance and cooperation. Now, the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, has rejected President Bola Tinubu's decision to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. It describes the action as a forceful takeover of the state. According to the opposition party, the suspension of Governor Sim Fubara for an unelected administrator is an attack on the nation's democracy. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum took the same path, calling President Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State as biased and divisive move. The PDP governors, led by Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, urged the president to reverse the decision. In a related development, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has condemned the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, describing it as politically motivated and a dangerous regression into violent unrest in the Niger Delta. Okay, we will now be joining our correspondent, Kingsley Marjorie, to bring us up to speed with happenings in Rivers State. Hello, Kingsley.
I would like to welcome you to Port Harcourt. The situation in Port Harcourt and, of course, Rivers State has also remained calm since today. With the declaration of the state of emergency, there have been divergent views over the declaration. But in any case, socio-economic activities are ongoing in Port Harcourt across parts of the state. We've not had incidents of any unusualness. While we drove down from Port Harcourt to Element, we're actually in the front of the Port Harcourt refinery. While we also drove down while coming to this location, there is no atom of unusualness. But before now, there was a reported incident of alleged fire outbreak at the refinery, which is a rumor on the social media. So we actually came to here to ascertain the veracity of that information. But when we got here, actually, what we are meant to understand is that this flame you see there, they had a little overflow, but the authorities controlled it. But the report in the social media was suggesting as if there is an attack on the facility. But while right here at this facility, we're also seeing tankers loading from this facility to their various destinations. Socio-economic activities are all ongoing in the city of Port Harcourt. Nobody is being molested. There is also no unusual security presence. It's just a normal daily life activity that is currently ongoing. Possibly when the new administrator comes on board, begins to unfold policies and policy directive, people will begin to respond appropriately. At the moment, there is calmness, peace, and security in parts of Rivers State.
Thank you very much. Indeed, nice to know that the state is calm at the moment. Thank you so very much. Now, declaration of state of emergency in Nigeria is a constitutional provision to restore peace and order in the country or any part of it. The declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State is the latest of these interventions. Ignatius Nkwo is standing by with a fact sheet of these declarations.
Well, Nigeria has experienced a number of states of emergency in its history, mainly due to security crisis, political instability, and some religious conflicts. Well, Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has amended. It powers the president to declare state of emergency in the entire country or any part of it under specific conditions to be rectified by the National Assembly. Some of the major declarations of state of emergency in the country. Well, in 1962, the Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, declared state of emergency in the Western region. This is as a result of the internal conflict within the Action Group, that is the political party then. Now, one of the outcomes of this is that the federal government took over the administration of the region and removed its premier, Chief S.L. Akintola. And then, in 1976, the Obasanjo military administration declared state of emergency in Plateau State. The reason was as a result of violent ethnic and religious clashes. The military declared that the state of emergency in order to restore peace and order in the state. Between May 18th to November 2004, President Olusegun Obasanjo, now as a civilian president, declared state of emergency in Plateau State as a result of sectarian violence and ethno-religious crisis in Jos, which led to widespread killings. Then, the governor of that state, Joshua Dariye, was suspended, and Major General Chris Ali, retired, was appointed administrator. Well, there was no formal rectification of that declaration by the National Assembly. In between 19th October 2006 and April 2007, President Olusegun Obasanjo again declared state of emergency in Ekiti State as a result of the political instability and impeachment controversy surrounding Governor Ayodele Fayose. Brigadier General Adetunji Olorin, retired, was appointed administrator. That declaration was rectified by the National Assembly. And then, between 2013 and 2014, in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states, President Goodluck Jonathan declared state of emergency in these states as a result of the increased activities and escalation of Boko Haram insurgency in that area. Well, that saw the increased military presence and operations, but as the insurgency proceeded within that period, but the elected officials were not removed or suspended. Now, that declaration was approved by the National Assembly. On the 18th of March 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared state of emergency in Rivers State as a result of political crisis between Governor Similayat Fubara and the State Assembly. Well, that led to the suspension of the governor and State Assembly members. Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas was appointed as sole administrator. The President had communicated to the National Assembly to that effect.
Thank you very much indeed, Ignatius, for bringing us, that fact sheets. Now, the erosion control project to recover affected areas in Amachai community and Vanguard area of Delta State will soon commence as the state government has met the requirements stipulated by the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project. Chinyere Okoli brings us up to speed on the latest developments.
Amachai, Obozoma and Vanguard areas are densely populated communities where about 85% of the state workforce own properties and reside. Over the years, erosion has been a major threat the people have been battling with, as some of their homes and greater parts of their lands have caved in, such that environmental experts describes it as catastrophic. To combat this active erosion menace, the state government has paid 1 billion naira as counterpart fund to have Delta State included as one of the new map states to be assisted by the European Union Investment Bank assisted projects.
So what I want to appeal to the community people, once this project commences, they should support government. All they need is to collaborate with government and complement the effort of government.
In view of this, a team from the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project visited the site for assessment.
We are here to tell you that the stages of this project has been completed with regards to the condition precedent at 100%. We are now at the disbursement stage. This project has been earmarked to be officially launched in April 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Environment.
Residents of Amachai and Vanguard area are optimistic that with government intervention, the erosion menace in their communities would be checked. Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
We will be joining Chinyere live in Asaba to shed more light on the inspection of the erosion sites. Hello, Chinyere. Okay, Chinyere, you are on. Can you tell us, more on the inspection of erosion sites in the state? Chinyere, you are on.
Hello.
Chinyere, you are on. Can you tell us, shed more light on the inspection of the erosion sites in the state? Okay, I'm afraid Chinyere can't seem to hear the studio from where she is. We'll be moving over to our Lagos Network Center, where Awal Yusuf Jibo is standing by to give us, the latest from that axis. Hello, Awal. Good to see you. Awal Yusuf Jibo is standing by from that axis.
Mutual understanding of duties between security agencies in Lagos is crucial to the general well-being of the citizens. Commissioner of Police Lagos State Command Jimoh Moshood disclosed this while playing host to Comptroller Nigeria Immigration Service in the state and the area Comptroller of Customs Service, Murtala Mohammed Airport Command. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
Elimination and total eradication of crime and criminally minded individuals requires effective synergy in the line of duty, especially among the security agencies. Receiving both the State Comptroller of the Nigeria Immigration Service and the Murtala Mohammed Airport Area Comptroller of the Nigeria Customs Service on separate visits, the Lagos State Police Commissioner Jimoh Moshood emphasized that the operational synergy between the sister agencies will lead to adequate security of lives and property and also promote ease of doing business.
Nothing expected of any of the organization that excellent performance in the discharge of our responsibility. So in this we are going to key into to ensure that the huge investment of the federal government of Nigeria and that of the state is well protected.
On their parts, Controller of Immigration and the Murtala Mohammed Area Controller of Nigeria Customs Service said the visit is aimed at solidifying the already existing synergy and to look at other ways of collaboration to effectively discharge their constitutional responsibilities.
If the police have intelligence that I can, actionable intelligence that I can deploy to better the operation of my office, I think such intelligence is appropriate to be shared with me. And this is why I've come to seek synergy with the CP.
If there should be any issue within our environment and we find out that the tension is becoming too unbearable, our next person is to welcome at the police division around.
The visitors and their hosts reiterated the need for joint training and sensitization of junior officers on working towards achieving the same goals, especially while on duty. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. We will return you to Ifoma in Abuja for more on Nationwide after this break. Don't go away.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, we undying deeper, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation. We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
And your darling program, Sahur Life on NTA, is back bigger and better. Our team of erudite scholars is poised to provide insightful analysis into the religion. All our interesting segments have been redesigned to meet your spiritual needs in this blessed month. Come and maximize your reward in Ramadan by partnering with us on this year's edition of Sahur Live on NTA. For donations, sponsorship and inquiries, contact the General Manager, NTA Channel 5, Old Parade Ground, Area 10 Kauki, Abuja. You can also reach us on these telephone numbers 080-3314-7812, 080-3568-8394, or 080-3380-6162. Sahur Live on NTA, your indispensable companion in Ramadan.
Bye, Mom. He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
The stakes are high as the Super Eagles of Nigeria are back in action in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers as the hunt for a ticket to North America heats up. The stage is set as the Super Eagles head to Kigali to take on Rwanda's Amavubi at the Amaro Stadium on Friday, the 21st of March. Rwanda versus Nigeria. It is first versus fifth in Group C. It is 90 minutes of passion and endless skill. Don't miss a second of the action. Watch it all unfold right here on the 21st of March.
Afro Sport, your freedom of sport.
You're welcome back. We'll now link up again with Chinyere in Asaba, who will be telling us, efforts at erosion control in Delta State. It's over to you, Chinyere.
Okay, hello. We are here in Asaba. The process of recovering the areas affected by this erosion, started in March 2023, where we did a report on the efforts of the government.
Chinyere, you need to gather your thoughts there. Thank you very much indeed. And Nigeria and China agreed to elevate their business relationships, moving from being trade partners to development partners. This was when the Director General and Global Liaison for Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, Joseph Tegbe, and his team visited Governor Monday Okpebolo at Government House. Good luck, Enaini reports.
The collaboration between China and Nigeria is majorly in the areas of agriculture, infrastructure, health and education, and is expected to deepen Nigeria's total trade volume of $23 billion with China and a net deficit of trade after importing $20 billion worth of goods from China and Nigeria exporting $3 billion worth of goods to China. Nigeria is also leveraging on a $51 billion investment for Africa instituted by President Xi Jinping, of which Nigeria is entitled to a $10 billion investment.
Edo State is one of the critical states that we need to work with in terms of Nigerian-China relationship. There is significant Chinese presence in Edo State already. So I came on a courtesy visit to discuss with you and explore possible area of collaboration.
It's something we are looking forward to, especially in the area of agriculture. We have about 2 or 3 companies of Chinese here in Edo State. They are doing very well. So we are coming timely, and I'm very happy. I just believe that this marriage will last long.
The Global Liaison for Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership was created by President Bola Tinubu after a meeting with President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, in September 2024. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NT News.
What seems to have been smooth ride for the ruling All Progressives Congress in Benue State to consolidate their victory as the October 5, 2024 local government areas election is being legally challenged. A aggrieved party who alleged that their names were substituted in the build-up to the election filed petitions challenging the victories. Olabode Arewa reports that the petitioners are also challenging the relocation of the tribunal to Abuja.
The 2024 Benue State local government election was conducted on October 5, 2024. As it is the practice where election petition tribunals are established, the Chief Judge of Benue State set up his own to address petitions and appeals therefrom. 93 petitions were received from various political parties. However, a directive came from the state's chief judge to relocate to Abuja due to security reasons. This did not go down well with respondents, mostly chairmen and councillors under the APC, whose council challenged the directive.
If you must do anything, you do it according to the law.
Having been validly nominated by the APC, BSEC, who are the first respondents, announced strangers who were not part of the process.
At Wednesday's proceedings, their council urged the three-man panel to recuse themselves from sitting, claiming that the panel had displayed alleged signs of bias. The petitioners were not opposed to relocation of the tribunal to Abuja. The tribunal has adjourned sitting to March 21st to rule on the motion for stepping aside filed by the respondents. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Olurebi Tinubu joins family and friends of former First Lady of Lagos and Osun States, Omolola Oyilola, in celebrating her as she turns 73. In a message signed by her senior special assistant on media, Busola Kukoyi, the First Lady highlights the contributions of Princess Oyilola to women and children, especially the vulnerable, while in office. Wishing the celebrant a happy birthday celebration, the First Lady prays that God continues to bless her with divine health, peace, and boundless joy. We take another break. Nationwide continues in a moment. To stay.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Have you heard the news? The federal government of Nigeria, through its direct benefit transfer program, has started the disbursement of 75,000 naira per household in 3 installments of 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 naira. Each recipient must have a validated national identification number, NIN, to receive the payment on behalf of their household members. To benefit, your household must be in the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households in Nigeria. The federal government's direct benefit transfer program is helping to reduce the effect of suffering while promoting financial and economic inclusion for the poor and vulnerable population in Nigeria.
My name is Joy Odagi. One man just called me one day, I did in my house, so I shocked. I say, my man said, na for one night. How they go call me? Say, I register. I say, I register. He said, make I call my mark. Say, make I call collect my, with NIN, make I call collect my ATM card. Call collect money. Now me I go with my husband. He said, now 419. I reach there, he say, real. They pay me my 75,000 naira. I use the money put for my business, eat for inside. Teach one person how to make soap. To get the card, you need NIN.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, in collaboration with the National Social Investment Programs Agency, National Social Safety Net's Coordinating Office, and the National Cash Transfer Office.
Nigeria is perched on the treasure trove of solid minerals. Gold, coal, tantalum, tin, but none is more critical to our future or the world's future like lithium.
Let's talk about illegal mining operations. What is our strategy?
Welcome back. We'll now be heading to our Kaduna Network Center for more reports on Nationwide with Mohammed as our guide. Hello, Mohammed.
Ifyoma, thank you very much for joining us here in Kaduna. The Emir of Jama'a Muhammadu Isa Muhammadu has commended the people of his community for supporting government peace initiatives. He stated this during a Ramadan iftar, which was attended by people from across religious and ethnic divides, held at his palace in Kafanchan, Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State. Lois Apollo reports.
The Emir, who noted that adherents of the two religions, Islam and Christianity, have made a firm resolve to exist peacefully with one another, charged them to keep up so as to attract divine blessings to the area. He appreciated President Bola Tinubu, Kaduna State Governor Ubasani, and other lawmakers of the zone for ensuring the location of the Federal University of Applied Science, Kachia, and the Federal Medical Center, Kafanchan. Chairman, Jama'a Local Government, Peter Tanko, commended the Emir for fostering an harmonious and peaceful coexistence through such events that cut across religious divides, adding that his administration will consolidate on the existing peace. In their remarks, Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, JNI, Venerable Emmanuel Marcus and Alhaji Abubakar Al-Hassan, appreciated the Emir for his efforts towards attracting meaningful developments and fostering peace in the area. They also called on other stakeholders to emulate. Stakeholders were treated to sumptuous meals at the iftar. Lois Apollo, NTA News.
100 wheelchairs and 10 crutches have been distributed to people living with disabilities to gain access and achieve their goals as well as future ambitions. A National Youth Service Corps member serving in Kaduna State, Benjamin Solomon Fuki, donated the items as part of his personal community development service. Kim Gotts reports.
It's a ray of hope filled with emotions for Louisa Shwaibu, who before now cannot afford a wheelchair, by her parents, and Ahmed Mukhtar, whose ambition to be a medical doctor have benefited from the donation, giving their lives meaning.
It will help me to go to school, and my mom is sending me to anywhere she wants to send me. This bus school for me to go into school and to study.
While for Sani Inusa, a core member who equally benefited from the gesture, serves as a mirror of encouragement to persons living with disabilities.
As I am now here, you can see me, and definitely you can make it too.
The core member, Benjamin Solomon Fuki, the man behind it all, while applauding the different agencies who sponsored the initiative, described his personal community development service as a way of inclusiveness by extending a helping hand to persons living with disabilities in his immediate community. He shared his experience.
When I came here, I noticed some children living with disabilities that I came across within the community of my host. And I felt it was since as a part of my community development service, it would be nice to help with this need for mobility aids.
It is expected that more core members serving in Kaduna State will continue to engage in well-meaning projects to drive home the importance of community development service of the NYSC. In Kaduna, Kim Godz, NT News.
And that's our contributions from this end. Nationwide continues with Ifeoma Ojunta in our Abuja studio. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Nigeria has hosted its first steering committee meeting of the Rabat process under its chairmanship. It is a significant milestone that puts the nation on a move towards advancing sustainable migration policies and enhancing regional cooperation. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Aliu Ahmed, while briefing journalists in Abuja, gave insights of Nigeria's role as chairman of the Rabat process. He also outlined Nigeria's vision and agenda during his tenure, also leveraging on fostering collaboration and developing practical solutions to migration challenges.
Key program highlighted in Nigeria's agenda for the year include workshop on migration data management, thematic meetings on trafficking in human beings, smuggling of migrants, missing migrants, and climate-induced mobility. A key announcement from the meeting was the upcoming first thematic meeting under Nigeria's chairmanship, scheduled to take place in Abuja from 13th to 14th of May 2025. The meeting will focus on youth innovation and migration and will address sub-themes such as regular migration pathways, diaspora engagement, the role of remittances.
Nigeria took over chairmanship of the Rabat process from Portugal in January 2025. Members of the Rabat Process Steering Committee are drawn from 16 countries, including the European Union Commission, the ECOWAS, and partner countries. Ibadan Network Center is next on our lineup with Kemi as our guide. Hello, Kemi.
And welcome to Ibadan. The Nigerian Army says it is committed to enhancing operational efficiency, administrative competence, and leadership skills of tactical level commanders by equipping them with the knowledge to manage men and equipment in a joint and multi-agency environment. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, stated these at the first Commanding Officers Workshop in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omoli has the reports.
Themed enhancing tactical level command and leadership within a joint environment, the first Commanding Officers Workshop gathered commanders to further their professional development and improve their abilities to confront contemporary security challenges facing the country. The Chief of Army Staff represented said the gathering was aimed at sensitizing the commanding officers towards the ongoing transformation efforts.
And I'm certain that this workshop will be instrumental in further strengthening your leadership and operational skills. Together, we will continue to ensure the safety and security of our nation.
The host General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Obina Onubogu, said the workshop will reshape the level of tactical professionalism of the participating commanders for efficiency in their areas of responsibility.
This workshop was carefully conceived by Army Headquarters to give commanding officers and other participants the requisite training required to bolster their leadership and command style for improved operational and administrative efficiency across all theaters of operation.
Aside the tactical level command and leadership, the workshop also focused on career planning and prospects for officers in the Nigerian Army. In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
And in the spirit of Ramadan, Muslims have been admonished to always adhere to the tenets and principles of Islam and emulate the philanthropic gestures of the late Are Muslimi of Yoruba land, Abdulaziz Arishikola Alao. This was at the annual Memorial Ramadan lecture delivered by Sheikh Ismail Agbomolada at this year's NTA Ibadan Ramadan lecture. Wasiu Rauf has more.
The event featured two different lecturers speaking on the topic Islam and ritualisms are two poles apart. A cleric explained that ritualism in any form has no place and basis in Islam and asked Muslims to desist from such attitudes of ritual killings as well as shun the get-rich-quick syndrome becoming rampant in the society.
Fear of God, because every one of us we're supposed to know that there is no God except one God.
On his part, an Islamic scholar shed light on the need to embrace the Sharia planning that will resolve issues confronting Muslims in the Southwest in accordance with the Holy Quran and Hadith. Zonal Director NT Ibadan Network Center Wahid Popola and other stakeholders at the event believed that the yearly Ramadan lecture is a wake-up call and a reminder for Muslims to always engage themselves in good deeds and fear Allah.
Do good for you to be able to receive good. If you sow the seed of goodness, you will receive the reward of goodness.
This Ramadan lecture is very important as a reminder of people of the good deeds of Arishikola and for those that are living to be able to learn a lot from his life.
The program also featured prayer for repose of the soul of the deceased. Late Abdulaziz Arishikola Alao was the Are Muslimi of Yoruba land till his death in 2014. This year's lecture is the 11th edition, held in his memory to acknowledge his selfless contributions to humanity. In Ibadan, Wasiu Rauf, NT News.
And that's it from Ibadan. We now return to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Okay. Now, deep soil investigation has commenced in earnest ahead of construction of the fourth flyover at the revered popular post office area in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. This followed 50% advance payment for the commencement of the monumental project by Borno State's government. Umar Jimbarima reports.
One of the ambitions of Borno State government,
enhancing the quality of education through digital literacy provides opportunities for...
One of the ambitions of Borno State government,
enhancing the quality of...
we sincerely apologize for that mix-up in the report. Now, migrating to digital teaching and examination methods is a major reform that will eliminate quackery in the education system. Zinret Dingmun reports that the initiative is taking shape with the realization of the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria Center for Excellence.
Enhancing the quality of education through digital literacy provides opportunities for students to develop essential skills in emerging technologies. These professionals are here gathered to align with the federal government's plan to revitalize the education system ensuring ethical practice of information technology, providing a safe cyberspace for operators.
We were able to come up with the national operational standards for the NSQF project. It is illegal for anyone to practice without CPN license if it is IT.
We are trying our best to make sure that the profession is well represented and making sure that the right things are being done.
You have a place to go and report in such a manner that investigation will be carried out, and if such a professional is found wanting in the profession, will be punished.
Let me assure us that the ministry will continue to provide necessary assistance and support towards the growth and development of the ICT profession in Nigeria.
We are moving from analog examination to digital as being promoted by JAM, and we have seen a lot of credibility in doing that, reducing a lot of malpractices and making our examination to be recognized world over and globally.
These initiatives demonstrate the government's commitment to improving the quality of education and preparing students for the challenges of the digital age. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmoon, NTA News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to achieve the Africa Water Vision 2025. Nigeria's stance was made known by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation at the West African Sub-Regional Ministerial Committee consultation meeting in Abuja. Usman Zubairu reports that the minister also tasked West African nations to intensify efforts towards realizing this vision.
Africa is facing a worrying water crisis. 400 million people still have no access to drinking water. Population expected to exceed 2.5 billion by 2050. The challenges of effective water resources management are more pressing than ever. It is against this backdrop that the Abuja consultation meeting brought together ministers, experts and sectoral stakeholders to discuss priorities and action to ensure sustainable water security in line with the African Union's Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals.
That's what we need to work together to find solutions that plug that gap and enable us to utilize the full potential of our water resources to drive socio-economic development.
Discussions will focus on several strategies, priorities, such as the development of the post-2025 African Water Vision, implementation of decision-taking at the 14th AMCO Executive Committee, preparation for the third African Implementation and Partnership Conference. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Richard Filengwa, said federal government is currently focusing on strengthening water security, improving sanitation and hygiene, and enhancing food security.
A unique opportunity for the West African community to contribute to developing a framework that truly reflects the region's water sanitation challenges and priorities. Therefore, I implore you to contribute to ensuring that the vision and policy document formulated are one, aligns with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda.
The recommendations from this meeting will be examined at the next AMCO General Assembly with a view to their adaptation by the African Union in 2026. In Abuja, Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
Next is sports update. Ahead of Nigeria's crucial World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, former Super Eagles captain and 1980 Africa Cup of Nations winner Segun Odebami has challenged the Super Eagles to fight for all the points to brighten their chances of picking the 2026 World Cup ticket.
Any failure now is going to be catastrophic, and for a long time it will take us to recover.
Elsewhere, indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be looking to take one step closer towards securing qualification for the 2026 World Cup when they visit the Mbombela Stadium to face off against Eswatini on Wednesday, while Liberia take on Tunisia as the Lone Stars sit third in Group H with 7 points from 2 wins, 1 draw and a defeat, while the visitors lead the table with 10 points, having secured 3 victories and 1 stalemate. And the Central African Republic will face Madagascar on Wednesday in the 5th round of the CAF 2026 World Cup qualifying series.
And now to golf. Standard infrastructure and professional coaching are basic ingredients towards promoting the game of golf as a professional sport in Nigeria. The chairman FCT Golf Association, Ekabong Eniobong, stated this during an exclusive interview with NTA Sports 24 in Abuja.
That's a major program, taking golf to schools. Like I say, I preach now that golf is now Olympic sports. And of course, to get into Olympics, you need years of training. So we are working with the Secondary School Education Board, with Director of School Sports.
He also gave assurance that Team FCT golfers will secure podium finishes during the National Sports Festival in May. With sports updates, Ijoma Pitawante, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social